You're tuned into Capital Jazz TV. I'm your host, Jodine Dorsey. We are on the 17th annual Capital Jazz SuperCruise, and who brought the ship to the land, who brought the spirit to the ship, single-handedly.
Oh man,
Single-handedly.
you going big on me
I'm
right
going
now.
big on it. I'm putting a lot on your shoulders right now.
You are.
Gospel artist, musician, Mr. Anthony Brown. Anthony,
my
how
goodness.
are you?
What a warm welcome. I appreciate you. I'm doing amazing. She said I did something good. Hopefully I did something right.
You did something right. Did you see the response from the people?
No, I didn't. Not in there. I couldn't hear them or see them. So it's
Wow.
been after the concert that I really got an idea that people were impacted in a positive way, and that's everything for me.
It was the feedback that I was getting, because I walk around on the ship and people will recognize me and they're just like, "Did you go to that gospel show? Did you go to the gospel show?" It was so moving for some people, and some people, we were encouraging people just to leave it all behind in the theater.
Yeah.
Just leave it there.
You know what I love the most? Walking around talking to people. There were a lot of people who came to Capital Jazz who weren't familiar with me or my music, who just came off the strength of somebody else's word, or just maybe there was nothing else to do. I don't know. But they came, and the impact that was made, I think, is what makes me feel the warmest. I mean, I love my diehard people who've been supporting me for years and years, but it's really dope to connect with people who have no idea who I am and just are coming in looking for some inspiration, and hopefully God can use us to, give them that light and give them that positive affirmation.
So it's Anthony Brown and group therapy.
Group therapy.
You can't leave the group therapy out.
Man, everybody needs therapy.
Tell me about group therapy. Like, where did you find them? Who are they?
Man.
Amazing.
Group therapy, sent from God, I'm sure of it. Group of people that I met while at school at Morgan State University. Shout out to Morgan State University.
Morgan.
Shout out to Baltimore, Maryland, my hometown. We met at school, and while we were at school, I was writing songs and needed somewhere to kind of like put those songs because they just were in my head. And so I asked a couple people randomly, so I thought, to meet me in the choir room one day to go over some songs, and 20 plus years later, we're still together.
So wait. So you were asking folks in college,
Yeah.
just to help you get the songs out of
Meet
your
me
head.
after class. Yeah,
Meet
come
me
here.
after class, and you're still with them 20 years later.
20 years later.
How is that possible? What is it that they see in you?
You know what? I really, really believe more in the fostering of relationship than I do in the transaction of business in any kind of way. And so we've always hung our hat on spending time together. Our conversations, the laughter, they are the funnest bunch in the world, man. We cut up so bad and have a great time. We spend more time spending time together than we ever do in rehearsal. And so I think the gel, the glue that keeps us together is the relationship, not the rehearsal, not the transaction, not the concerts.
That's right.
It is the relationship. We were meant to be together, so we stay together.
That's right. And you were in LA sometime, but you came back to the East Coast.
I did. I moved to LA, just being different. I wanted a different look on things. I was living in Baltimore all my life, and I wanted to just explore the world and see something different. I went out there, and they moved with me. So they just all packed up a month later. I
Group
was
therapy
gone.
moved
Group
to LA.
therapy. All
with
them
you.
jokers, all 9 of them jokers, quit their jobs, left school. We young, no kids, everybody chilling. So we just jumped up and they moved into my 1-bedroom apartment. And for those 3 years that we were there, everything that we formed is the foundation for what we continue to build today. Yeah.
And so now that you're back in the Baltimore area,
Yeah.
tell me about what you have going on now. I know you're doing some things, but are you also at a church? Like, what's that? What are you also doing outside of music?
So, I'm a PK. I've always been in church. So even
Pause.
though. Go ahead.
Shout out to the preacher's
I see it
kids.
on you.
You know
I see
what
it
I'm
on you. We got all the gifts,
Yes,
the ones we
do.
wanted and the ones we didn't.
Right.
Okay. But no, I grew up in church, and so I've always, had that in me. And despite the things that God has allowed me to see and do in my professional career, I've always felt like there is a lane for me to be attached to a home church. In fact, none of what has happened for me happened outside of being a member of a church. And so I feel like there's always a space to balance those two things. And I go to an amazing church. It's the First Baptist Church of Glenarden in Upper Marlboro, Maryland. My pastor, Pastor John K. Jenkins,
Shout out.
Senior. And I've been there for 16 years. And so the entire journey of my musical career, I've been at that church. And they have supported me and loved me. My pastors continue to pray for me and push me and mentor me and help me to helped me to have the tools that I needed to handle the weight of the assignment. The last thing you want to do when you jump out here and get in front of these lights is not have the kind of character that can sustain you
That's right.
when the lights turn off. And so he's always been more concerned about my well-being, and so I appreciate him for that. And that's why I'm still there now.
Is it because you were a preacher's kid that you decided gospel was the route that you were going to take, or because you could have went into secular, you went to L.A. I'm sure people were knocking on your door to do something
Yeah,
else.
and I did for a minute. At the very beginning of John Legend's ascension, people would compare my voice and my color of my voice to his, and so. And I played the piano, so I was doing John Legend covers. I was in L.A. That's what they knew me for. They knew me for like, that's the John Legend dude. And I love love, and I love love songs and what have you. So I was writing love songs and whatnot. And I knew there was a lane for that. However, the void for me was that I knew that I was created to inspire other people and encourage them. And I could never let that go. I could never let go of seeing people hurting or knowing their situations and not doing something to speak to that. So ultimately, it wasn't because I was in church. I just really believed that God put inside of me intrinsically a desire to want to encourage people. I just want to see people be okay.
Yeah, yeah, especially during these times.
Man.
Anthony.
Yeah.
I mean, the people are leaning. I don't know about you, but it's like everyone now, everything that I'm listening to, it's about prayer now. Like it's like prayer, faith,
Yeah.
because you just don't have. There's nothing else. There's not nothing else, but it's so hard to believe in something right now.
Everybody's looking for hope.
That's what it
looking
is.
for hope. They
That's
wanna
what it
hope
is.
in something.
Exactly that.
And even though I have a church background, you have a church background.
Yeah.
Everybody's not coming to the four walls of the church.
That's
So
right.
I believe that I am one of the people, and there are many who are called to go outside those four walls and bring that light, that love, that hope, that encouragement to people who may never step foot in the four walls of our church. I believe there are people who are anointed, who are set aside, who are designated to go out there and be the light there for people who may never come into our churches.
So is that why you started Church in the Club? Talk to me about this Church in the
Let's
Club.
go.
Look, I saw that. I was like, what is Anthony doing?
Yeah, Church in the Club. Well, because, I grew up in Baltimore. I am a PK, but I haven't always been just,
Right.
Listen, I've been in the church. Church wasn't always in me.
Right.
But wherever I went, I always knew there was something different about me, something unique, something that God had given me that I could never shake. And so because of that experience, all that experience, I believe God uses that to allow you to do what you do. Right. So Church in the Club for me is essentially me taking what I believe and who I know myself to be and what I believe in and what I'm passionate about to any venue. I don't care where it is. I don't care if it's a Capitol Jazz Cruise.
Yeah.
I don't care if it's, a theater. I don't care if it's a nightclub. I don't care. Wherever I go, if you need some hope, I got some hope for you. I'm a hope dealer. I got you.
A hope dealer.
I got you.
Oh, you better coin that.
Man, I got a dime bag for you. I got something for you right now. I got something that you down. I got something that can pick you up, and that's what I believe my passion and my calling is to do.
I love that. And so tell me about the next performance you have at it's Church in the Club at Bethesda.
Yeah, Bethesda Theater. I have a residency there, in fact, all year long. So every quarter, bringing in group therapy and myself, I have a special guest who will come, and I got special guests coming this time. That's going to be crazy. Nobody even know he's coming, man. I have some of the dopest friends and artists who just pop by. In fact, when we're doing the concert, the doorbell just rings, and I'm like, who could it be? And they just walk in. So you never know who's going to be there, but we turn up. My little brother, who is he's actually a comedian and a host as well.
Okay.
He hosted every time we do it. He's
that.
funny. He turns up with the audience, and we just have a good time. It's not overtly churchy. When I say Church in the Club, just don't think about sitting there in no pew. It's nothing like that.
Don't
It's
bring your
just-
Bible.
Yeah, you ain't got to bring your
You
Bible.
ain't gotta bring your
Don't worry
Bible.
about that. But you will leave out with the message. You
That's
will leave
right.
out with the meal. You leave out with a message. You'll leave
That's
out
right.
with some hope.
That's right. I've got to ask you a personal question that I saw on your Instagram, if you don't mind me bringing this up. You were celebrating your mom.
Yes. Big celebration. Oh, man, you got me cheesing now from ear to ear.
I mean, tell me about this. I've never seen anyone so happy and joyous and sharing their mom's story. Do you mind sharing with Capital Jazz?
I don't mind at all. My mom just a couple months ago celebrated 25 years drug-free. I am the proudest son in the world of my mother and her journey. My mom, being the first lady, because I told you my dad's a pastor, so
That's
being
right.
the first lady of a church, having a drug addiction, what do you do with that? What do you do with that when you're in front of all the lights? Everybody's watching you. Everybody's watching your life. And then that happens. And so it crumbled my family. It crumbled the entire essence of my family. It all fell apart in front of the public eye. And so for my mother to not only decide one day to just not use one day, but to not use another day and another day until 9,000 days have gone by. 25, yeah, one day at a time. One day at a time.
Every day's a choice.
So here's my thing. When your mama has that kind of gut bucket resilience and strength, she put inside of me something that makes me say, I ain't never giving up. It's never too late. Now you know why I'm a hope dealer. If I don't watch my mother, I've been in the crack houses with my mama. She took me with her. I've been at the lowest places with her. So to see her stand up now, 25 years clean.
Beautiful too.
It's my baby. It's my baby.
Beautiful.
There's nothing that she wants that I won't give her. She just celebrated her 65th birthday. She calls it her what does she call her Medicare birthday. She just celebrated her 65th birthday, and I'm just the proudest son in the world to watch my mom ascend to this height. And I believe there's even more life inside of her. And she's a testimony to anybody else that has any kind of anything going on. I don't want you to think it's ever too late. It's never too late. God can do anything at any time if you don't give up and you keep on believing. It's possible. I know you even saw that.
Oh,
man,
let me
you
tell
got
you
me
something.
hyped. Mama, I love you, mama.
Woo, the way, not a dry eye when I was looking at that post. It was beautiful. It was beautiful.
Thank you.
What do we have coming up next, Anthony?
Woo. Have you ever been in a place where you feel like you have exhausted a certain level of your life?
Yeah.
I love what I do, but I know there's more to it.
That's right.
So this is my transitional year. It's a year where I just really feel like I'm about to jump out here and do something I've always wanted to do but never did before.
Okay.
So those are people who know me know that I have a little bit of the acting and theater bug and what have you. Now, my brother is the actor, so I'm not trying to go in front of the camera on the acting side. I'm actually his manager, so I'll be working behind the scenes to make sure he's
wow. Okay.
But I do love musical theater, and I love scoring and whatnot for movies and soundtracks. And so this year, I'm just jumping out there with my gifts and saying, why not me?
Why
not me? I wrote a musical with my pastor's son, Joshua Jenkins, who's the pastor. I'm the son of my pastor at First Baptist. Mm-hmm. We wrote a musical together called Some Way, Somehow. It's a modern-day, uncut depiction of the Christ story. I believe it is second to none. Anything you see on Broadway, I promise you we can compete with that. And so this year is a year to make sure that we take that thing around the country, let people check it out and see it, and hopefully turn the page and add a few more lines to my resume. I don't want to just be known as a singer or a songwriter,
That's right.
but as a playwright, as a movie scorer.
Whatever you put your mind
Whatever,
to.
man, I told you. I'm a
Just
hope
as
dealer.
long as you creatively expressing yourself.
Come on. Why
now.
not me? It's
Why
the question.
not me?
Absolutely.
Last words, anything you want SuperCruise fans or people that just love Capital Jazz and want to learn more about Anthony Brown, what do you tell them?
Wow, so if you want to know anything about me and where I am, you can follow me on social media, of course, AJB Live on Instagram, AJB Live on Twitter, that's AJB LIVE, Anthony Brown on Facebook. Every Sunday, I'm on WHUR. 96.3 back home. I have a show called Blessings on Blessings with Anthony Brown. It's a radio show from 12:15 to 2 Eastern Standard Time. You can meet me and my brother on that show every Sunday. But if I could leave you with anything, there's so much going on around us in the world, okay? So much going on. And not just in the world, but in your world as well. I told the people at the concert the other night, and I'm telling you all as well who are watching me, this is not the time for you to be gripped by fear. That's what I want to leave you with. I want you to know that God is not giving you, or I, the spirit of fear, but of power and love and a sound mind. If it don't feel powerful, it ain't God. If it don't feel like it's love, it's not God. If you don't have a sound mind about it, it ain't God. That's the only thing he gave you was power, love, and a sound mind. So this year, be bold enough to jump out there and follow your dreams and follow your heart and not be gripped by fear. Fear will have you living the same day for 20 years but not growing. Don't refuse to grow. Don't refuse to evolve. In fact, even if you're afraid, do it afraid. This is a year of no fear. No fear.
No fear, Anthony Brown. Thank you so much. He was speaking to me personally. That was for me, just as long as you know that.
I got you.
Thank you so much for being with
It
us
is
on
my
the Capital
pleasure.
Jazz Super
Thank you for
Cruise.
having me. I'll be back next year.
Hopefully.
Uh-oh.
We're going to cross our fingers on that. You were going to cross our fingers on that. This is Anthony Brown. I'm Jodine Dorsey. You're tuned in to Capital Jazz TV.